central government is committed to bringing about a permanent solution to the long-vexed Naga political issue ahead of the 2024 general election, says a highly placed sources in the Home Ministry. Next meeting between the Government of India and the NSC&IM to be based on separate Naga flag and constitution as desired by the NSC&IM. A.K. Mishra holds a closed-door meeting with the Working Committee Nltv on the Naga political issue at Police Complex, Chumukedima. The meeting lasted for nearly 3 hours with no detail disclosed to the media. Working Committee of the Naga National Political Groups demand all 60 members of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly to take a stand on the Naga political issue. The NNPG Working Committee asked legislators to translate their words into action by resigning en masse for implementation of the Indo-Naga Agreement. Following the lapse of its 30-day ultimatum served to the government of Nagaland, the Eastern Naga Student Federation begins their first phase of peaceful democratic agitation at the Nagaland Civil Secretariat Complex in Kohima. Nagaland State Cabinet agrees to increase the superannuation age of government doctors from 60 to 62 years. Decision taken during Cabinet meeting on Thursday with a condition of re-employment in the clinical sector till 62 years. Hello and welcome to Nltv English Prime Time. This is Chip and Kung. Let's look at the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led government of India is committed to bringing about a permanent solution to the long-vexed Naga political issue ahead of the 2024 general elections. A highly placed sources in the Home Ministry informed that the forthcoming meetings between the Government of India and the NSC&IM would be based on the separate flag and constitution as desired by the NSC&IM. The Home Ministry also expressed a satisfaction of the meeting that took place between A.K. Mishra and T.H. Muiva at the NSC&IM headquarters, Camp Hapron. A.K. Mishra is likely to hold a series of meetings with various political groups, state political leaders and civil organizations during his stay in Nagaland. A closed-door meeting on the Naga political issue was held between A.K. Mishra and the Working Committee Nltv at Police Complex, Chumukedima. As informed, the meeting lasted for nearly 3 hours and no detail regarding the meeting was disclosed to the media. A.K. Mishra is likely to meet Naga political groups, state political leaders and civil societies during his stay in Nagaland. In continuation to its previous statement issued on April 19 on Wednesday, the Working Committee of the Naga National Political Groups have asked the Nagaland legislators to take a stand on the Naga political issue and tender mass resignation from the State Assembly. The Working Committee said that for implementation of the Indo-Naga Agreement, the legislators must translate their words into action by resigning en masse. Taking a jibe at the members of the State Assembly, the Working Committee of the NNPGs said that all politicians are blessed with, or rather cursed with, free tongues, one for themselves, the other for their party, and the third for their future. The Working Committee NNPG said that enough consultations have been held with Nagaland tribes, civil societies and Naga negotiating groups. It added that the stalemate in the Naga peace talks remains despite a number of committees and platforms have been constituted to facilitate and assist the negotiators. Sending a strong message to the political parties, the NNPG said that the willful collective betrayal by political parties will naturally lead to serious repercussions. Working Committee NNPGs will take appropriate action at an appropriate time. The treachery and deceit against the people of Nagaland have a price to pay. The statement further stated that the successive state governments had claimed that they were ready to pave the way for Naga solution, but don't know what transpires once they land in New Delhi, adding that they are elected by electorates of Nagaland and not by Manipur Nagas, Arunachal Nagas or Assam Nagas. It has been 14 days and several areas in Dimapur are submerged in water. It may be well mentioned that the 4 areas in Dimapur district, they have been facing a lot of issues because of artificial flood created by lack of drainages and lack of proper water systems. The areas include Kuvihe, Chhattiswari, Manipuri and railways colonies. And once again, it has been 14 days that these areas have been submerged in water with no way to either pave the way for the people to move around freely in the area or to give them sufficient clean water supply. The residents of the localities have expressed a strong dissent and have expressed dissatisfaction towards the Nagaland government for not taking the matter seriously and for not relieving them of the daily struggles that they have been facing. Let us have a look at the situations that the residents are facing.
কোনবি খবর বি লবলে না কালি তো তবিদো সব আর তো ডিসি সব এখানে কাটি ফেসলা করিছে না বলিবি মোর দেন চট্টশিরি কলোনি ওয়েস্টার আর ওয়েস্টার কলোনি মিনিমাম 2000 ফ্যামিলি এফেক্টেড হয়ে না আছে ইমান লেতরা হয়েছে পানি বি লেতরা আছে আমার ইমান দুঃখ আছে কি কব না আজি তক তো সব পানি তো বাড়িয়ে আছে কমতিতে হবলে কোনো চান্সই নাই পানি ইতুই আছে আর কি কব আমার কি ফাঁসি আছে তো গভর্নমেন্ট বি অলপ চাব লাগে আমি এখানকে মৰম পৰা কি মদত কৰিব খালি আমাৰ পানী ল'ব লাগে ইতুই ৰিকুৱেষ্ট আছে আমাৰ
itu nalala jo itu pani na jala to dusra sal de to ami han hunia do iman do flat nohe gune
খবর এনেকা তো পয়লা তো এনেকা হইছে হলিবি ফটফট ওলাই যাইছে না ইটো চাল তো পুরা 14 ডেজ হইছে না সেবি 14 ডেজ তো
মিলাগা 4টা কলোনিতে তো ইমান ভর্তা পানি আছে বাচ্চা খান বি স্কুলতে যাব না পারে पूरा दूर फाले पड़ा जाले तो इमान तक भी सब लगते ना है
आदमी का भी दिक्कत हो रहा है पानी से भी गंदा रहा है आज 10 डेज और 11 डेज हो गया पानी कमती नहीं हो रहा है कितना आदमी चला भी गया यहाँ से तो
কি কব না 4টা কলোনি তো মখান ভর্তা পানি হৈ কিনা আছে সানডে ৰাতি পৰা আজি 14 ডেজ নিচিনা হৈ আছে আৰু পানী বি না নামে ইমান সাৰখানা কিনা দেখি কিনা যা আছে তাখান বি একো কৰিব নাপাৰা হৈছে মখানটো আৰু খাবলৈ বাচ্চা খান বি ইমান বেমাৰ পৰি আছে এটো আৰু কি কব
না পুরা কিবা জাম পুরা নালা পুরা জাম আছে জাম পুরা এতো পানি খান পুরা ঘরতে ঘুমাই কিনা আছে নালা রেল বাজার নালা আছে না এতো পুরা জাম আছে এতো রিকোয়েস্ট করি কিনা আপনি খান জেনেগা মদত করি কিনা না যিমান জলদি এতো সাফা হবো আমি খান নিমিতে বেশি ভালো আছে এতো তো মণিপুরি বস্তি আছে ওয়েস্টার্ন কর্নি আছে শনি মন্দির আছে আর
Following the 3-day mass casual leave called by the Nagaland In-Service Doctors Association, the State Cabinet has decided to increase the superannuation age of government doctors with some riders. Notably, the decision was taken during its meeting on April 21. The advisor and state spokesperson Monlamo Kikon informed that the Cabinet had made a decision with a condition of re-employment in the clinical sector till 62 years of age. The spokesperson also added that for those interested or wanting to apply for the upcoming medical college, the age limit has been increased to 65 years. Kikon further informed that they will not get their pension. However, they will be re-employed and recruitment process will be smoothly done without any hiccups because of the experiences they have. The Eastern Naga Students Federation's first phase of indefinite democratic agitation against the state government for the non-fulfillment of their chartered demands has begun from 9 a.m. this morning at the Nagaland Civil Secretariat Complex in Kohima. The ENSF has called for the indefinite agitation following the lapse of its 30-day ultimatum served to the government of Nagaland to address its demands for inclusion of exempted departments and Group C post in the Nagaland Staff Selection Board Regulation 2020, and that interview to be conducted by the respective departments. the participants to strictly maintain peace. It warned all volunteers that for any untoward incident, the violators shall be held responsible. It is added that peaceful agitation will be continued indefinitely until the government of Nagaland responds to the demands positively.
Teacher brothers, I'm sorry. That is Sangdam, Gonyang, Imkyong, Kemnyongan, Pom, and Jang. For 20 years, still 6 tribes of Eastern Nagas reaches at par with the rest of the other Nagas, after which it shall be subject to review. Chart of demand number 3. Group C posts which are exempted from the purview of NSSP mentioned under Schedule A should be brought under NSSP purview for preliminary and written exam, and other practical skill, physical proficiency and interview should be conducted by the respective departments. Number 4. Recruitment to the post of constable, fire constable, warder, female warder in the police, prisons, Nagaland Lok Ayukta, MPDO, Home Guard and Civil Defense, and Department of Fire and Emergency Services, excise and forest guards in the EF and CC should be brought under NSSP purview for preliminary and written examination, and other practical skill, physical proficiency and interview should be conducted by the respective departments. So these are the two genuine demands that are levied.
The purpose of my joining here is to ensure that 2 things are delivered. One is to extend our solidarity to the family of Eastern Naga Students Federation, and the other one is to ensure that Nagaland State.
After Cabinet's meeting at the Chief Minister's residence on Thursday, the state government spokesperson and advisor IT, Science and Technology, Nltv stated that the government of Nagaland has approved the inclusion of departments in the Nagaland Staff Selection Board Regulation 2020, which were exempted earlier. In regards to the issue, Nltv further stated that the Cabinet Subcommittee will be meeting with the Eastern Naga Students Federation to work out the modalities in the coming days. It is also worth mentioning that the ENSF had called for an indefinite agitation starting from April 21 over the failure of the state government to include the exempted departments and posts in the NSSP Regulation 2020. However, in light of the Cabinet decision on the day of the protest, the government has also appealed to the ENSF to call off its agitation. The Matsafima Town Youth Organization, led by President Kepe Nakro, on Thursday organized a press conference regarding several issues, including the shutdown of power for 3 days in the area. President Kepe Nakro, while addressing the media, stated that although Matsafima is one of the oldest towns in Nagaland, it is yet to receive a lot of facilities that a modern town inherits. He also mentions that along Kaspani line, the electricity wires and poles have all worn out, which is the core reason for poor electricity in their areas, and it needs immediate replacement. He also spoke on the poor water facilities. Kepe Nakro stated that the organization has even reached out to the concerned MLS requesting improvement in water supplies. However, their demands have not been attended. The Urban Development Program also have taken charge of the situation. The president notified that no development has taken place and that it has almost been 3 years. Several issues were discussed during the press conference, including proper road construction. The organization, through this press conference, have appealed to all the concerned departments to meet their demands.
Light hobi, pani hobi, the modern town there, facility, pal thake bola, it on itabi punjana. Dia rasta la, light la saje bole, light pene saje bole, hame la town de to hawa lo marli bi light off ho jaye, pani lo body bi light off ho jaye. Now recently 3 days continue light bi off thake hame la town de. Now na color tibra hala niya face kurje. Tibra mian town de light la saje bisi duk pai. Aro hame ni de department han bese. Ini department han gitu तांगे blame भी करना पड़े कि लोग बोले आमियान भी इन्हीं का failure life failure डालने तांगे visit करना सही तो तांगे main power भी short तांगे तांगा पार्टी तो काम करेगी अभी भी एक तारीख को इससे आमियान organization side पर higher up हंगे या आमियान ला facility light ला itu बालरा side बोले itu भी higher authority request कर जे कि लोग बोले आमियान light ला electrical department बरा जाना हिसाब से आमियान ला Kaspani la light to pula British time de bana la itu ye chola ase wire khan post khan ekta bi change kone tu chola garne tan yere department khan tu garne tu pai koina pula visit tem du nya khobor dise tu lai sabte amian bi public as a public chup chup thagli no ho koina amian concern mle ki bi man application bi likhina
Minister of Higher Education and Tribal Affairs, Tamjin Imna Along, on Thursday, extended warm greetings to the Butchery community on Butchery Commemoration Day. Imna Along, in his Twitter account, appreciated the dedication and commitment of visionary leaders in establishing the tribe and encouraged the community to push forward with the same enthusiasm towards peace and progress for the welfare of their people. Nagaland New and Renewable Energy Department, in its first one-of-a-kind project, launched a 5-megawatt solar power plant in Hovuku village under Newland district on Wednesday. The project is expected to complete by January 31, 2023. The project foundation stone has been laid by the advisor of NRA Mhunlungwikikon in the presence of PHE Minister Jacob Jimomi, RSMP S. Pangnon Kanyak, and advisor tourism Kehovi Yaptomi at the project site. A Sessions Court convicted 4 persons in connection with the murder of Nagaland Police Inspector Nipritio Metio of Chichama village, who was found dead on September 15 in 2018 between Zikita and Zapami in Pek district, and his vehicle being lifted. A delayed press release issued by the Office of the Public Prosecutor on Wednesday confirmed that the Principal District and Sessions Judge Kohima Y. Longkumar had convicted the accused persons on April 4. The Sessions Court sentenced the accused persons Yuringam M. R. Shimre to 10 years of rigorous imprisonment with a fine of Rs 5,000 for offence under Section 304 of the Indian Penal Code. Another accused, Rintingchon Lunghar Wushi, was sentenced to 3 years and 7 months imprisonment and a fine of Rs 3,000 for offence under Section 414 of the IPC, while Anthony Gaffo was sentenced to 5 months and 10 days imprisonment and a fine of Rs 5,000 under Sections 411, 414 and 461 of the IPC, and 3 months simple imprisonment for failure to pay fine. The court also convicted Nuloje Katiri under Section 411 of the IPC on his own plea of guilt at the stage of consideration of charges. A dead body of a non-local was recovered earlier today at around 10 a.m. after a telephonic information was received at East Police Station from the police control room. Timapur stating that one dead body of a male, supposedly homeless, was found lying on the side of the road below the flyover opposite of Traffic Zone 1 office. As per reports, the police station duty party rushed to the spot to acquire necessary photographs and conduct investigation about the dead body. During preliminary investigation, no foul play could be established, while suggesting that the cause of death could be starvation. The dead body was later shifted to District Hospital morgue for post-mortem examination. Assam and Arunachal Pradesh has decided to form district-level committees for resolving boundary disputes between the two states in a time-bound manner. The decision was taken during the second chief ministerial level meeting between both states held at State Guest House Goinatora in Guwahati on Wednesday in the presence of Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma and his Arunachal Pradesh counterpart Bema Khantu. Notably, the district committees will undertake joint surveys in disputed areas to find a tangible solution due to long-pending issue based on historical perspective, ethnicity, contiguity, people's will and administrative convenience of both the states. Furthermore, the Assam Chief Minister has stated that the terms of reference of the committees have also been finalized. It may be noted that Assam Border Area Development Minister Atul Bora, Assam Chief Secretary Jishnu Barua, Arunachal Pradesh Chief Secretary Naresh Kumar and other senior officials from both states were present in the meeting. Assam police on Wednesday arrested MLA of Gujarat Legislative Assembly Jignesh Mevani over his offensive tweets against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Notably, Jignesh Mevani tweeted claiming that PM Modi considers Godse as God, should appeal for peace and harmony against communal clashes in Gujarat. Following this controversial tweet, a case was lodged against Mevani by Assam BJP leader Arup Kumar under sections 120B, which reads criminal conspiracy, and section 153A, promoting enmity between two communities. Gokrachar SB Tube Pratik Vijay Kumar later added that Gokrachar police from Assam arrested Jignesh Mevani from Balanpur Circuit House on Wednesday night around 11:30 p.m. Jignesh Mevani is likely to be taken to Assam on Thursday. On hearing the news of Jignesh's arrest, Gujarat Congress President Jagdish Tagore and other Congress leaders rushed to Ahmedabad airport and shouted slogans against the BJP government. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi will visit Telangana on May 6 to raise the issues of the people and highlight the failure of the Telangana Rashtra Samiti government in the state, informed party MLA Chaka Reddy on Wednesday. All party cadres have been requested to attend a meeting in Warangal on May 6, where Rahul Gandhi will preside over a meeting. The visit will highlight the failure of TRS government and how the people are suffering there with load of harassments of the government by the police. The Supreme Court on Thursday extended the stay order for the next 2 weeks, halting the Delhi's violence hit Jahangirpuri demolition drive. The apex court further added that it may take a serious view of the continuance of demolition after the North MCD mayor was informed about the court's order. Moreover, the court stated that the matter will be taken up after 2 weeks. Notably, a bench of Justices L. Nageshwara Rao and B.R. Gavai issued notice to the centre and others on the plea filed by Jamiat Ulama-e-Hind that claimed that buildings of Muslim riots accused are being razed. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court also issued notices to government of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat. On the occasion of Civil Services, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday urged civil servants to work on 3 goals to align with nation first policy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while speaking on the occasion, stressed on 3 goals. Firstly, to bring ease of living to each and every citizens of the country. Secondly, to draft new governance models with the goal of making India the best country in the world. And thirdly, to maintain harmony and integrity of nation with the underlying mantra of nation first. The Prime Minister added that every decision taken by the officials should be with the goal of ensuring the unity of the nation. Civil Services Day is observed on April 21 every year. The civil service in India includes Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, Indian Foreign Service and a Central Group A and Group B services in the country. The first National Civil Service Day was observed on April 21, 1947. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, visited Sabarmati Ashram on Thursday and paid glowing tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. Earlier on Thursday, Johnson landed in Gujarat for his two-day India visit. Notably, he was accorded a grand welcome at the airport in Ahmedabad. It may be mentioned that Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel also accompanied the UK Prime Minister. Notably, Johnson's two-day visit to India will focus on stepping up cooperation in the Indo-Pacific, giving momentum to negotiations on free trade agreement between the two countries, as well as enhancing defense ties. It may also be mentioned that this is the first time a UK Prime Minister is in Gujarat, India's fifth largest state and the ancestral home of around half of the British Indian population in the UK. Meanwhile, Johnson will announce a slew of commercial agreements and hold bilateral discussions with a focus on the UK and India's trade, investment and technology partnership. Moreover, the UK and Indian businesses will confirm more than €1 billion in new investment and export deals in areas from software engineering to health, creating almost 11,000 jobs across the United Kingdom. In the world of cricket, West Indies limited overs captain Kieron Pollard on Wednesday took to his social media account, announcing his retirement from international cricket, though he will continue to freelance in private T20s and T10s leagues across the globe. Pollard's international career could be termed as a perennial underachiever in a maroon jersey. He is the only West Indies cricketer to have played 100 T20s and has struck the second most sixes in for the West Indies international cricket after Chris Gale's 552. The 34-year-old Pollard, who made his ODI debut back in 2007, fittingly played his last series against India, a country which has become his second home due to his long association with Mumbai Indians. And that's all for now. Thank you for tuning in. This is Chipen Kung signing off.
New YY Dynamite Instant Noodles. It's extra spicy. Taste that will blow your mind.